Are you tired of waiting for sparks to fly on your dating app? Do you dream of running through airports to deliver an out-of-breath, unplanned monologue? Then stop doom scrolling and start listening to Meet Cute Rom-Coms. Feel-good love stories that take you from chance encounter to grand romantic gesture in just 15 minutes. We're bringing rom-coms back. Get a brand new Meet Cute series on the first Tuesday of every month, with new episodes twice a week. Fall in love with Meet Cute Rom-Coms, wherever you find your podcasts.
Is this where we kiss? Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark movie fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today we're discussing Sweet Autumn as part of our fan favorite fall movie lineup. Join us on Instagram, where you can find us both as Girls Gone Hallmark and Megan and Wendy.
Jump into our Facebook group. Let us know what you think about these fall movies we've been reviewing. Girls Gone Hallmark on Facebook.
Let's hear a synopsis of Sweet Autumn.
Sure.
Look, you made me do it too.
I know. Aunt Dee splits her candy shop between her niece Maggie and maple farmer Dex. Following letters Dee left, the two uncover the reason for her decision during the Sweet Autumn Festival.
Second time Andrew Walker has played a maple farmer.
This was
a Maple Valley Christmas. Technically, this was the first time, but
he was a maple farmer in that movie?
He had something to do with
I don't
maple.
remember. I hated that movie.
News and notes. Sweet Autumn was filmed in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Not, sadly, in Battleboro, Vermont.
Have you been there to Vermont? Battleboro?
Not to that small town, but I've been to Vermont.
Is it a real small town?
It is.
I mean, is it a real place?
It is a real place.
Okay. Nikki DeLoach has 68 acting credits and stars in the upcoming Curious Caterer Fatal Vows, as well as a world record Christmas. She's busy.
I want to talk about the title of the new Curious Caterer movie. No food pun?
I know. You know, they changed the name. They changed the title.
Oh, The Last Supper.
Yes, that's what it was called, The Last Supper.
Interesting.
Curious Caterer, The Last Supper was its original name, and now it's Fatal Vows. And I'm wondering, could this be the last movie in this series?
Are they wrapping it up?
I don't know. Fatal sounds like
dying for chocolate.
I know, but it sounds, for some reason, it sounds like the end of it. It's probably not. Why do you think they changed it from Last Supper?
I don't know, and I don't like that there's no food pun.
I get that was your original point.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen the movies, obviously. So maybe it is a more accurate representative title of what we're going to get in the movie. But anyway, just something I noticed.
Okay.
Andrew Walker has 82 acting credits. He, of course, will also star in Curious Caterer, Fatal Vows, as well as Christmas Island. Both of these actors have Countdown to Christmas movies.
Can I say that I would really like to see Andrew Walker in a role that is against type? Mm-hmm. I feel like he plays the same sort of like good guy, clean cut.
I mean, they put him on a motorcycle. I know.
There's no Tyler Hines on a motorcycle in a picture of you, but I don't know when I turned into a Heine. Really. Anyway, I just want to see him as like a bad boy.
Not the boy next door.
Yeah. This was written by Tyler Strassel, who has 6 writing credits, all of which are Hallmark movies, with the exception of one episode of The Good Place.
That's right. This was directed by Gary Yates. He has 43 directing credits, including Christmas by Starlight and On the 12th Date of Christmas.
Shout out. That was my first Tyler Hines movie.
Yes, it was. We liked it.
Eugene Buffo plays Zach. He has 14 acting credits, including a role in A New Year's Resolution, Crashing Through the Snow, One Winter Weekend. But he's... What? He's a hip-hop dancer.
And choreographer.
I'm sorry.
Why is that blowing your mind?
I don't know. because I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm not remembering who Zach is.
He's the one who never leaves the candy shop.
Oh, he's like Mr. Candy Shop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And is he the computer guy too? Makes the websites.
He's the computer guy too.
I did not read this note before I read it. And so I was just going through all his like Hallmark movies, and he's a hip hop dancer and choreographer. It just struck me as funny. That's all.
What's your first impression of Sweet Autumn?
I feel like this is one of those movies where it was like a formula wheel. What are we going to put in here? What's the small business? Who's fighting? Like,
Candy shop.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
My first impression is it's giving fall.
You think?
Okay, what did you like about Sweet Autumn?
I truly and really enjoy Nikki DeLoach as an actress. I think she brings something different and quirky to her roles, but it's not like over the top. Like there's always some little element that makes her like that much likable.
Yes.
That much more likable to me.
You need to watch A Cranberry Christmas. Go ahead.
And maybe I will. I just think there was one scene where she's back at the candy shop and she gets a name tag and she goes, "It still fits." And he goes, "It's a name tag." And she goes, "It was a joke." And it just was funny.
Yeah.
Like I thought, yeah, that would totally be my reaction to
Yeah.
it. I like her a lot. I find that I like her movies more and more.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the video will as a way to meet Aunt Dee and the character who had passed. And I thought that scene was quite touching, actually.
Why?
I just thought I liked the idea. She was like, we're going to do this 6 months later, so you're not emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still got a little emotional seeing her and the way she bought her one niece's antique shop and paid that off. And she gave her motorcycle to Dex's dad. And I thought it was a touching little moment and scene, the way she showed up for those people.
Speaking of Dee, I loved the small town autumn festival that had grown into a town event, but was also like part of the business community. Mm-hmm. This is the things I think of when I watch these movies. I was like, my little, it's not even little, but local town center, it would really behoove them to do some sort of like fall event where all the businesses get involved to bring the people out and get into the stores. Don't you think so?
I'm picturing that because my neighborhood, once a month, maybe twice a month, I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's a boutique that they like section off part of the parking lot. Mm-hmm. And this is a traveling set of vendors. They go to several different locations around Orange County and they come here once a month. And they have like handmade items and food goods and all these other things. And it would be the perfect way to do a fall festival once a year and have it like fall themed and because the other stores don't participate at all.
Oh, really?
So they need to have a way to like come into Trader Joe's and sample our harvest soup.
Yeah. I just bet like these businesses just go like, I don't want to do that.
Of course. I'm busy enough as it is.
Yeah. I just think there's something so lovely about like the community coming together to like support local businesses. I don't know.
And I think it speaks to the fact that in that center that I'm talking about, it's a Trader Joe's and a Home Goods and a Chipotle and not a Aunt Dee's candy shop.
Right.
I think this movie for me wins for Best Fall Vibes Award among the movies that we've seen. And my husband watched, Wendy's making a face. And I said, do you think those trees are CGI'd? Because yes, there were faux leaves everywhere, but the trees appeared to have changed. This movie premiered in October. So unless they filmed it like 3 weeks before, I don't know when the leaves turn in Winnipeg. It's pretty far north. They could turn early. But probably it was like CGI yellow leaves. Mm-hmm. You didn't love it?
I just, when I think of the movie, it feels orange to me. Everything was like a shade of orange.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Okay.
It was too much. The end of the movie kiss.
I wrote, talk about a wowie zowie.
HOTT.
Yes.
It was a good one.
Yes.
And I have been thinking about this for weeks. This has been one of my Roman Empire thoughts. I feel, okay, because you know how when we talk about Curious Caterer and how I'm like, oh, I need more.
Give me the heat.
I think Andrew Walker and Nikki DeLoach are such good friends in real life that they can't bring that heat because they're friends. You know what I mean?
Did this prove you wrong?
This kiss did. I was like, oh, but wait a minute. This is a pretty hot kiss here.
Right. It would be kind of like Luke McFarlane and Ashley Williams having a hot moment.
Yes.
Like they strike me as besties.
Right.
I loved that kiss as well.
Yes, I did too. So I was like, oh,
He
well, wait
takes
a
her
minute.
head, like turns her head on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
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 What'd you wish for?
Another co-owner business.
Yeah.
I can't, like, I feel like the last 3 or 4 movies we've watched have.
And there's
had
one
this
coming up in
conflict.
Countdown to Christmas too.
Oh my goodness. How often does this really happen?
Right. Tick, 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 tick. Enemies co-own a business.
Yes.
Speaking of that, I thought that the exploration of Maggie and Dex and how they wanted different things for the business was very surface level. And they never really dug in enough for me into why. So, okay, Maggie's a big investor, so she thinks like everything should be big and everything should go nationwide. And Dex is like a small town guy. But they just kind of like stuck to that. And there was never any like, this is why I think that. And because it's the way I've always done it is not enough for me.
Right.
Because this is my business. I make things national. That wasn't enough for me. Why is Maggie like that?
Right.
Because she didn't, I'm sorry.
No.
But
I was going to interrupt you. Go ahead.
she didn't go running away from this small town because her experience there was negative. Like she has family there. Her sister's there. She loved growing up there. So she's not averse to this small business.
Right.
Go ahead.
In that vein, I thought the movie was kind of, it staled out.
Stalled
Out. It stalled out because I was like, this conflict is over expanding this candy business and they're at an impasse and there's no like you said, it's all surface. There's nothing more of like, no motivation one way or the other.
Right. I want to bring Auntie's legacy to the masses. There's never discussion of that.
Right.
It's just, this could be big. Okay. She just ultimately, the resolution is she's like, I'll do what you want.
Right.
Not, I believe in your vision. Okay. What else did you wish for?
Maggie is so smug. No. I told you I like Nikki DeLoach, but this character of Maggie is so smug.
It's the spark plugs.
It was so unlikable. I was like, I hate you. Like, you're a bitch. You called what's her face a bitch.
She didn't come off that way to me.
To me, she just was always like, I know better.
I really wish we were on video right now. Well, speaking of moments that I found characters unlikable, I didn't love that Jody was always hamstringing Eddie. Jody's the sister,
Yeah.
Eddie's her husband. Communicate with your husband like rather than cutting him off and hurting him away like a child.
Yeah.
Like he would come in and not really have all the information. And so he would be like, where's Dex? What are we doing with the candy shop? And she'd be like, shh, just come with me. Stop asking questions.
Just
pat him on the head.
I hate that.
Communicate with your husband.
Totally.
It's a running bit that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, I think we see that a lot in Hallmark movies, though. Like, very dismissive between spouses. I don't like that either. I don't like that in my real life, so I certainly don't want to see it in my entertainment either.
Don't pat me on the head.
No. Auntie's candy shop seemed pretty lacking. There was just
Go ahead.
jars and jars of hard candies, like butterscotch, whatever. Like,
Yeah, the jars were silly because, like, what are you going to sell the giant jar? Are people going to scoop out of there?
you and I have been to a candy shop. You go in, there's usually like a big case of fudge and like handmade
And little bins you can
confections.
scoop out of to make your own.
This was just like displays of hard candies. Like, I didn't even see Dee's maple candies anywhere.
Oh, they were on the table. Zach was constantly stocking the damn table with them.
Yeah, but it was like boxes of candies. Like they had like those
Yes.
rectangle boxes of candies, and then it would be like you could see in the background there was like a little coffee bar, and there's like these candies. Like, all over the table. Like, are you selling those or are those free samples? Like, what's happening here? I just did not understand this candy shop.
It was designed to be more aesthetically pleasing on camera than it was to be functional as a store. No, I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, like, yes, it doesn't feel like a store. It feels like a display.
Yeah, and those scenes were like super tight too. Like, you could see, like, what's that character's name we were just talking about?
Zach.
Yeah, Zach is there, and he's got like his 2 jars behind him, and like you don't see anything else, So who knows where they were shooting this at? But like, for a candy store to have like thrived in this community for so long,
it needs more going on.
I need something else. Yeah.
Are you ready for Did You See That?
I am.
I've got a few.
Me too.
Jody and Eddie break in to make Maggie breakfast.
Yeah.
And they leave 2 minutes into the meal with the whole spread. My husband goes, you got a full spread there. He didn't even eat any of it. They just get up and leave. The whole point was like, we wanted to surprise you. We wanted to spend time with you. And then they just peace out.
Like, we got to go. We got to go open the shop. Yeah. She's just sitting there eating her fruit. Yeah, I noticed. Tell me why they're tapping trees in the fall. If they have established that the trees do not sap during the fall, is this an exercise in tapping? What's happening here in this whole scene?
Okay. In my notes, I wrote, if the sap doesn't flow in the fall, why are they tapping trees? And then I wrote, oh, apparently it's just a demonstration. Weird.
It's super weird. And I thought so too. I thought, well, okay, maybe he's just showing them how to tap and he's like educating. But then he goes, go ahead and tap those trees and let's see what you get. You're not going to get anything because you have said that they do not.
I know. You might get a bead. What are you doing? And is it not harmful to the trees to be tapping them when they're not going to flow? I don't know.
That I don't know.
But I also thought that was very weird. Like, why are we doing this to these poor trees? Hang your bucket. We have this whole thing about Pumpkin Emma in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Maggie and her partner Jonathan meet with her and they're trying to expand her business and they really want her to come along with their vision. And then what happens to Pumpkin Emma? Nothing. Bye.
It's like, why did you spend so much time on that? Other than to establish that Maggie's like this great marketing genius.
Right.
We can make pumpkin scones and pumpkin bread and pumpkin... Groundbreaking.
You're like, Starbucks exists.
Speaking of Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh, I told you already. They don't have the pumpkin scone this year.
Discontinued.
I'm super unhappy about it.
This event has been me with the gingerbread latte for 3 years.
Yeah, but they are bringing that back in some sort of form this year.
No. See, here's the drama. It is a rumor that Starbucks has a gingerbread chai latte. And I've said maybe you could just take that gingerbread and make a latte. But some people are speculating that the flavor will be gingerbread chai. Like, it's not going to be
2 separate ingredients. It's going to be
they're like
gingerbread
sticking
chai.
it to you because everyone's been like, bring back gingerbread. And Starbucks like, we're not going to don't tell us what to do. We'll see. But I remain unconvinced that we're actually getting it back. Okay. Dex pours her a cup of coffee in the candy shop when Jonathan comes in, and she's flinging that cup all over as she's gesticulating wildly to Jonathan. It's empty, fully empty.
Always.
Yeah.
Always empty.
How hard is it to put liquid in a cup?
They get the note from Dee about inspiration. Next scene, they're at Inspiration Bar. It was kind of funny. Like, he sits down and then sees her and tries to bounce. Like, that's 100 something I would do.
Me too. But also, it's not that weird that 2 people in a small town are having dinner in this restaurant.
Not even. And then I have a couple notes of this whole scene. The server comes back and she's like, I know I just sat you, but I'm sorry, that was a reserved table. Oh, no. I'm sitting here now.
Too bad.
I'm not getting up.
Like, that's on the server. Can you imagine an actual restaurant being like, sorry, you have to leave?
I'd be like, I'm never coming back, and I will write you a bad Yelp review.
Yeah, they would never. Never. What are they going to do?
But in this scene, the server is giving them their drinks, which drove me crazy because she ordered for him after he said, I'll take a beer.
I
And
thought
she's
that
like,
was so
You'll
rude.
drink up whatever. I was like,
You don't need a full drink. He just wants a beer. Like, if the roles were reversed,
yes.
don't tell me what I want.
Anyway, did you see that actually is the server is putting down his drink, and then in the next scene, it's like from a different angle, and the server is still putting down his drink, but her drink, Maggie's drink, is on the table where it was not before. That's it. Did you notice all the flies flying around?
No.
And there were several scenes, not several, maybe 2 or 3. There was just like a rogue fly. I just noticed these
Must
things.
have been the middle of summer.
Yeah, it must have been, right? And lastly, this does not have to do with the movie, but this is the first time I've noticed. Does Andrew Walker have 2 different color eyes?
I did not notice.
So I had to Google it. Apparently he does. It's a condition called heterochromia iridium, is when your eyes are completely or partially different colors. Andrew Walker has 2 different colored eyes. His right eye is blue with the lower third section a deep hazel, and his left eye is entirely blue. And I've never noticed it before.
Neither have I.
Kind of caught me off guard. People were like, hey, dummies.
I mentioned this before, but Zach never leaves the candy shop.
Never. I just thought it was so funny.
Is he a ghost? Like he'll disappear if he leaves the candy shop?
I mean, I just think he's working so hard there. You know, he's building websites on his downtime, and I don't know. This is so off topic, but at the very end, they were like, this is how we can expand social media. And we're like, if this movie felt old, I can't believe it was 2020.
I was shocked when I discovered when it was made.
Tell me what you give this movie.
3.5 stars, as Nikki and Andrew are always a fun watch on screen. Uh-oh.
I gave it 2 stars.
1 for Nikki, 1 for Andrew.
Send your emails to meganandwendy@gmail.com. Guys, this was not a good movie.
I disagree.
Okay.
If Andrew Walker is your favorite dude of Hallmark, it's your turn to leave a review for Girls Gone Hallmark. Open up the Apple Podcast app. 5 stars. Let us know what you think. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.